Hello, grade 4. Let's welcome to another read aloud. And today you are going to listen chapter number 3 from 100 Dresses A Bright Blue Day. Somehow, Maddie could not buckle down to work. She sharpened her pencil, turning it around carefully in that little red sharpener, letting the shavings fall in a neat heap on a piece of scrap paper and trying not get any of the dust from the lead on her clean arithmetic paper. A slight frown puckered her forehead. In the first place, she didn't like being late to school. And in the second place, she kept thinking about Wanda. Somehow, Wanda's desk, though empty, seemed to be the only thing she saw when she looked over to the side of the room. How had the 100 dresses game begun in the first place? She asked herself impatiently. It was hard to remember the time when they hadn't played the game with Wanda. Hard to think all the way back from now, when the 100 dresses was like the daily dozen to then, when everything seemed much nicer. Oh, yes, she remembered. It had begun that day when Cecile first bore her new red dress. Suddenly, the whole scene flashed swiftly and vividly before Maddie's eyes. It was a bright blue day in September, so it must have been October because when she and Peggy were coming to school, arms around each other and singing, Peggy had said, "You know what? This must be the kind of the day they mean when they say October's bright blue weather." Maddie remembered that because afterwards it didn't seem like bright blue weather anymore, although the weather had not changed in the slightest. As they turned from shady Oliver Street into Maple, they both blinked, for now the morning sun shone straight in their eyes. Beside that, bright flashes of color came from the group of a half dozen or more girls across the street. Their sweaters and jackets and dresses, blues and golds and reds, and one crimson one in particular, caught the sun's rays like bright pieces of glass. A crisp, fresh wind was blowing, swishing their skirts and blowing their hairs in the eyes. The girls were all exclaiming and shouting, and each one was trying to talk louder than others. Maddie and Peggy joined the group, and the laughing was and talking. "Hi, Peg. Hi, Maddie," they were greeted warmly. "Look at Sizzle." What they were all exclaiming about was the dress that Sizzle had on, a crimson dress with cap and socks to match. It was a bright new dress and very pretty. Everyone was admiring it and admiring Sizzle, for long, slender Sizzle was a toe dancer and wore fancier clothes than most of them. And she had her black satin bag with her precious white satin ballet slippers slung over her shoulders. Today was the day for her dancing lesson. Maddie sat down on the granite curbstone to tie her shoelaces. She listened happily to what they were saying. They all seemed especially jolly today, probably because it was such a bright day. Everything sparkled. Way down at the end of the street, the sun shimmered and turned to silver the blue water of the way. Maddie picked up a piece of broken mirror and flashed a small circle of light etched with rainbow colors onto houses, the trees, and the tops of telegraph pole. And it was then that Wanda had come along with her brother Jake. They didn't often come to school together. Jake had to get school to early because he helped old Mr. Henny, the school janitor, with the furnace or raking up the dry leaves and other odd jobs before school opened. Today he must be late. Even Wanda looked pretty in his sunshine, and her pale blue dress looked like a piece of the sky in summer. And that old grey toboggan cap she wore. It must be something Jake had found. Looked almost jaunty. Maddie watched them absent mindedly as she flashed her piece of broken mirror here and there, and only absent mindedly she noticed Wanda stop short when they reached the crowd of laughing and shouting girls. Come on, Maddie, heard Jake say. I gotta hurry. I gotta get the doors open and ring the bell. You go the rest of the way, said Wanda. I want to stay here. Jake shrugged and went on up Maple Street. Wanda slowly approached the group of girls with each step forward. Before she put her foot down, she seemed to hesitate for a long, long time. She approached the group as a timid animal might, ready to run if anything alarmed it. Even so, Wanda's mouth was twisted into the vacuous suggestions of a smile. She must feel happy too, because everybody must feel happy on such a day. As Wanda joined the outside fringe of girls, Maddie stood up and went over close to Peggy to get a good look at Sizzle's new dress herself. She forgot about Wanda, and more girls kept coming up, enlarging the group and all exclaiming about Sizzle's new dress. Isn't it lovely? Said one. Yeah, I have a new blue dress, but it's not as pretty as that, said another. My mother just bought me a plate, one of the Stuart plates. Here in this picture, you can see all the girls are standing in a group and talking to each other. I got a new dress for dancing cool. I'm gonna make my mother get me one just like Sizzle's. Everyone was talking to everybody else. Nobody said anything to Wanda, but there she was. A part of the crowd, the girls closed in a tighter circle around Sizzle, still talking all at once and admiring her. And Wanda was somehow enveloped in the group. Nobody talked to Wanda, but nobody even thought about her being there. Maybe thought Maddie, remembering what had happened next. Maybe she figured all she would have to do was say something and she'd really be one of the girls, and this would be an easy thing to do because all they were doing was talking about dresses. Maddie was standing next to Peggy. Wanda was standing next to Peggy on the other side. All of a sudden, Wanda impulsively touched Peggy's arm and said something. Her light blue eyes were shining and she looked excited like the rest of the girls. What? Asked Peggy, for Wanda had spoken very softly. Wanda hesitated a moment and then she repeated her words firmly. I got 100 dresses home. That's what I thought you said. 100 dresses. 100 dresses. Peggy's voice raised itself higher and higher. Hey kids, she yelled. This girl's got 100 dresses. Silence greeted this, and the crowd, which had centered around Cecil and her new finery, now centered curiously about Wanda and Peggy. The girls eyed Wanda, first incredulously, then suspiciously. 100 dresses, they said. Nobody could have 100 dresses. I have, though. Wanda has 100 dresses. Where are they then? In my closet. Oh, you don't wear them to school? No, for parties. Oh, you mean you don't have any everyday dresses? Yes, I have all kinds of dresses. Why don't you wear them to school? For a moment, Wanda was silent to this. Her lips drew together. Then she repeated stolidly, as though it were a lesson learned in school, 100 of them, all lined up in my closet. Oh, I see, said Peggy. Talking like a grown up person, the child has 100 dresses, but she wouldn't wear them to school. Perhaps she worried of getting ink or chalk on them. With this, everybody fell to laughing and talking at once. Wanda looked at them, pursuing her lips, together wrinkling her forehead up so that the grey toboggan slipped way down on her brow. Suddenly, from down the street, the school gong rang its first warning. Oh, come on, hurry, said Maddie, relieved. We'll be late. Goodbye, Wanda, said Peggy. Your 100 dresses sound beautiful. More shouts of laughter greeted this, and off the girls ran laughing and talking, forgetting Wanda and her dresses. Forgetting until tomorrow, the next day, and the next, when Peggy, seeing her coming to school, would remember and ask her about the 100 dresses. For now, Peggy seemed to think a day was lost if she had not had some fun with Wanda, winning the approving laughter of girls. Yes, that was the way it had all begun, the game of the 100 dresses. It all happened so suddenly and unexpectedly, with everybody falling right in, that even if you felt uncomfortable as Maddie had, there wasn't anything you could do about it. Maddie wagged her head up and down. Yes, she repeated to herself. That was the way it began. The day, that bright blue day. And she wrapped up her shavings and went to the front of the room to empty them in the teacher's basket.